Sean Carlson, Blackjack 98 Enterprises. Today's date is Tuesday, October 29th. About 2 days before Halloween. What you see behind me is a surface cleaner and my rum. Somebody asked me today, just tonight, like a few minutes ago, how do I clean my surface cleaner? And then I looked at the video that he was talking about, and he was watching me use my surface cleaner on my pressure washer. And I guess maybe his ports are clogged up. So we're gonna look at this right now. Let me turn my camera over and put this on pause. All right, from my previous videos that I had made, I went and bought myself a 24-inch Vevor surface cleaner. And in order to clean this, you need your rum. This is rum and coke. You're gonna need a tool set and a needle, like this. Doesn't necessarily need to be this needle in particular, but this is just a sewing needle that I just happened to find. You can use any other type of needle, but the shaft here needs to be about 1/3 of a millimeter to like really small, real fine. Okay, so let's put this aside and let's flip this over and look at it. Okay, so let me, you know what? Let's get that daylight look at it. There we go. There we go. Okay, so these heads come off. All right, there's hex heads right here. So if you put a socket on there, we can take that off. This part, the square part, does not come off. That's welded right on there. This head does. So let me get my tools, everything ready to show you what size socket you need to work on that. So I found that the correct size of socket that is needed is a 9/16. A 1/2 inch does not work because it's a little too tight. It doesn't fit on there, but a 9/16 will. So I'm going to put this on here and start tweaking on it. And of course, it doesn't come off with one hand. I got to use two. So give me a minute here, get this loose. Okay, so it's loose, but make sure that you don't bend anything. I had to pretty much torque it with one hand here and hold it at the bottom to make sure that it doesn't move. But this joints right here, because we're dealing with water, could be sensitive. So whatever you do, don't jerk on the head here too much, because you could screw something up right at this joint, at that weld, okay? It could be a sensitive weld, including at this head. So there we go. Now, so we're looking into there. Because water is coming out, you can see there's just a little bit of crud in there, okay? Now, this is the jet head. You can see daylight through on this one. You should be able to see daylight through it, okay? If you don't, that's when you need your needle to stick it through there to unclog it. And just because this is attached to there does not mean that if you stick a needle into there and unclog it that it's going to work. That gunk that is in this shaft here is still going to be in there, so you're going to flush that out. Okay, so this is what the heads look like. And you see how it looks like a slot? That slot means that the head actually does come out. And let me look at it a little bit better here. Yeah, the head actually, that slot, you can stick a screwdriver in there and unscrew that if you needed to replace that part. I don't really want to do that now because there's not really a whole lot much that is wrong with this. So, what I'm going to do is, there is nothing really wrong with mine, but if there was something wrong with yours, then you can blow air into here and then flush it out from there. So hit the trigger, blow some air into here, and whatever could be in there, you can just flush it out, okay? Or you could hook this up to your pressure washer with those heads off, and then run the water through there at your pressure washer, and then it will unclog everything under it and it'll flush, okay? So, the only thing that I can do on this video is just show you that what these heads look like, the socket to take them off, and how to clean them out with a needle. This one looks fine. And when you go to put it back on, do it gently, gently. Because of the fact that these were stuck onto there, you could use thread locker if you wanted to. You could use Teflon tape, okay? Or you could just tighten it about 1/8 of a turn and it'll stay there, okay? I don't know how much these cost, but they're probably a lot. So, having said that, let me flip this over. And I'm going to flip my camera around. So, I'm going to hit this. I'm going to blow into this here. If you're blowing into it and there's no air going in, that's probably because you got this locked. Okay, so it's locked, it's not on. Now water is getting through. Okay, so. Okay, I can hear and feel air going through onto the bottom there. Therefore, this is a good machine. If you were to do it, and you find that even if you did hit it, and you blew into it, like a breathalyzer, and it's like you have a really hard time getting air into there, and you don't hear anything in there. Like if you stick some water into there, and then you try to blow it out, if it's not gurgling, then you got a clog. So you're gonna take those jets out just like I showed you, and then redo this by sticking water in there or blow it out with force there like an air compressor or any type of water or what have you readily available. And that is how you would flush out your Vevor or your surface cleaner, if whatever the brand and name it is, whether yours has 2 tines, 3 tines, 4 tines. That's how I would do it. This is how I am showing you how you can do it. You don't need to do it how I had showed you how to do it. You can make up your own mind. You can think for yourself. But you know what? Let's look at the connections here. Let's turn this around. Okay, so not me. We'll stand this up. Okay. Now, your pressure washer hooks up into this. Snaps on. You have a connection right here. See that white stuff? That's Teflon tape. That is what this tube screws into and creates that tight seal. That Teflon tape creates a tight seal. This is the female, this is the male end. That goes all the way down here and does the exact same thing, same type of connection right there. Teflon tape and the threaded head. It's a swivel head on this one here. And you got to use Teflon tape on there to get rid of the leak. Now, this part here, I haven't messed with. I don't look at it. But if you needed to flush it out in this part here, where it's clear here, and there's no problem here, and there's nothing wrong with this connection, just take this hose off, and then you'll have a threaded rod hole, and then you can access the bottom part of that, that center point that I was just showing you. You can use that by forcing air, water, whatever into there, and then coming out, okay? Or you could, if you suspect that there's some type of clog in here, you can take this out, and it looks like there's some hex heads. So if you wanted to take everything apart, you could if you wanted to, but this is an example of how mine looks like, all right? Okay, so I hope that helped you with your problems with your surface cleaner. And if not, if you wanted me to make another video on as to what exactly to do, then you know what? I can do it tomorrow when there's more daylight out. Right now, have a good day.